Hey everybody, welcome back for another Mad Panic game review that is loaded with bullets and explosions because it's another bullet hell review today with ESPGALUDA 2 on the Nintendo Switch. And I know I've been reviewing a ton of shmups recently, but what can I say? There have been a lot of great shooters released in the past few months. And as a fan of the genre, I just can't help myself. In this case, we have yet another cave shooter that was ported over by Livewire, who you might remember as the developer that gave us an amazing Switch port of Dodonpachi Resurrection. I gushed about how much I loved that game, so when I saw the same team was porting over ESPGALUDA 2, I was all over it. So let's take a closer look and see if Livewire has delivered a 1-2 punch of danmaku awesomeness, or was their port of DDP Resurrection the only trick they had to show us? So, depending on how I title this video, I probably already answered the question I just asked. But for those of you who don't typically sit all the way through game reviews, yes, this is yet another awesome port by Livewire. Just like with Resurrection, basically just a straight port of the Xbox 360 version of ESPGALUDA 2, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. And just like with Resurrection, we are treated to a ton of different gameplay modes here. For starters, we get both the original arcade mode and what the game calls normal mode, basically a slightly tweaked version of the original arcade optimized for consoles. And if you've never played ESPGALUDA 2 before, I'd say it's one of Cave's more underappreciated shmups, overshadowed by the likes of Dodonpachi and Mushihime-sama, but an amazing shooter nonetheless. It kind of feels like a mix of Mushihime-sama and another Cave favorite of mine, Raid. Here you get 3 different characters to choose from that all have varying rapid shots and laser shots, and the basic premise of the game is that you have a psi meter at the bottom of the screen that allows you to activate a bullet canceling barrier around yourself and eventually let loose a powerful energy blast. You'll also be collecting green crystals from destroyed enemies that allow you to enter a hyper mode to deal some serious damage while at the same time slowing down all of the bullets on screen and racking up tons of bonus points. The higher your crystal count is, the longer you can stay in your hyper mode. And that's basically it. Destroy enemies, collect crystals, rack up points, and try not to run out of psi energy. Otherwise, when the screen really starts to fill up with bullets, you'll be a sitting duck. These are some pretty cool gameplay features on top of what is, at its core, just a straightforward, fun, and challenging bullet hell shooter that'll keep you coming back for more. In addition to the arcade and normal modes, you also get a black label mode, which allows you to play as a character not available in the original game, and it makes some alterations to the gameplay, including altered bullet canceling, different enemy and bullet pattern behaviors, and even some bullet skimming, which allows you to make contact with bullets without taking damage, but only on certain areas of your character's body. It's a pretty cool deviation from the original game and still presents quite a challenge. And of course, there are novice modes included for both the original game and Black Label, which is very much appreciated. These danmaku games can be absolutely brutal, so having a novice mode there, either for beginners or if you're like me and not especially good at these games, it's great to just get a bit of practice in and get accustomed to the gameplay mechanics without having to pull your hair out. Another very cool gameplay mode is the arranged mode, where bullets are either blue or red, with blue bullets being cancelled out by shooting them with your rapid shot, and the red bullets being cancelled by shooting them with your laser. You can also store up to 1,000 green gems now instead of only 500, making it possible to stay in your hyper mode twice as long. So this mode in some ways is easier than the original game, and it's very fun, but at the same time keeping track of what bullets are coming at you, swapping back and forth between your fire modes. It adds a cool new dynamic to the gameplay. There's also the Omake mode, which is unlocked after you complete one of the other gameplay modes, and this one is interesting. As bullets get closer to you, they turn from blue to red and can then be cancelled. And you have an auto shield in this mode, so anytime you take a hit, as long as you've got some psi power in the tank, you'll be okay. And Omake mode throws a hell of a lot of gold point bonuses at you, especially when destroying enemies in your hyper mode, so get ready for some insane scores. This is yet another mode that shakes things up a bit and is really fun. You also get more traditional gameplay modes like training, score attack, and a very useful tutorial. So overall, this port of ESPGALUDA 2 is full to bursting with gameplay modes, and if you've been watching this video and hearing the music, that's great because it means I don't have to say that much about the visuals and the sound design. This game looks great, the visuals are very colorful and pleasing to the eye, and the soundtrack is awesome. Lots of high energy music that again feels kind of like a blend of other cave game music stylings, namely Mushihime-sama and Akai Katana, but this is another home run by Livewire. The game itself is amazing, there are a ton of different ways to play, and it's been ported beautifully. So if you like a good bullet hell shooter or you're new to the genre, this release has something for everyone. It's ESPGALUDA 2 on Nintendo Switch, and it's awesome. Awesome!